guys, Jess here. Thanks for tuning in for my latest Advent Calendar tutorial. So I'm going to show you how to make marble paper using shaving cream, some sticks, a little tray, some paper and some parchment paper and an old towel and a squeegee. So the first thing you want to do is get a little tray that is about the size of the piece of paper you are using. I am using a 6x6 piece of paper, and then spray in your shaving cream. I am just using cheap old no-name brand shaving cream. Once I spray that in, I'm smoothing it out to completely cover the bottom of my tray. You could spray enough shaving cream that it does that without you needing to smooth it, but I was trying to be a little bit environmentally friendly and only use a small amount of shaving cream. Once you have smoothed that out, plop down your different colours that you would like to use for your marbling effect. I'm using a really light pink, a fluoro greeny yellow colour, and a little bit of silver. You then want to mix that around with your stick. Now the amount you mix or don't mix is where you're going to get your marble effect from. So a lot of mixing will cause a sort of crazy, busy marble. Only a little bit of mixing will cause a more strategic marble effect, and obviously thinking about the direction that you're marbling in as well. Then you want to put your piece of paper down on top and push all over, trying to make sure that you are pushing down on each section of the paper so that the shaving cream sticks to all the sections. Leave it for 3 minutes. Then, carefully holding one end of the paper, scrape your squeegee all the way across without stopping in one fluid motion. This will ensure that you don't get any marks or scrape lines where if you were to stop or pause your squeegee and start again. So I made 9 different colours of my marbling technique, and here is a few examples of the colours I did. This is not all of them because the video would just go forever, but this is just a couple of the examples. So I'm putting in a little bit of pink and a little bit of teal in this case, and I am mixing around the shaving cream. You'll notice the shaving cream is white. I have reset the shaving cream. I have put completely new shaving cream from the previous marbling, because any color that is left in the shaving cream will still ink or dye or mark the paper that you are using. So I've mixed around my colors a little bit, and I noticed it was a little bit too pink in one section, so I'm adding just a little bit more of the bluey teal color there and squishing that in as well. Then again, pushing down your paper. Now again, I want to reiterate how important it is that you push all sections of your paper. So on this one, I didn't cover all of the parts by pushing closely enough, and when I picked it up, I noticed there was a huge section that had been missed. So I actually just put it back in, and I pressed again and pressed all over, and this time when I peeled it up, I'd actually covered the whole page. So this time around, I smooth off the shaving cream, but I don't get all new stuff. I just spray a little bit of new shaving cream on top to fill any gaps and just to reset it a little bit. So that means the next colors I use, some of the pink and blue will still show through a little, not a huge amount because there's a little bit of fresh shaving cream on top, but a little bit of that color will show through. So now I am going to drop on some red, some green and some gold colored paint and marble that around in my tray. Now, while I'm doing that, I just want to talk to you about how often you should reset your shaving cream. That is totally up to you, but do be aware, especially if you're using these acrylic paints, because that is what I have used, so that is the information I can give you. It will still, any color that the shaving cream is, will dye the paper. So that's why I'm saying a little bit of this pink and teal will show through, because I can see a little bit of the pink and the teal still in the shaving cream. So because that is there, and because when I push the piece of paper down, that will get stuck on the piece of paper, I know that that color will show up onto the paper as well. So I'm pushing down this piece of paper and peeling it off. And what I do next is I actually get my next color, and I don't do anything really to the shaving cream at all. Mix it a little bit with the stick, but don't add anything new, and then pop the paper down again. So actually even more of the pink and blue are going to show through because I've already pulled a layer of the shaving cream off. I also then completely mix all this shaving cream up, and it makes the shaving cream go a sort of pinky color, pinky red color. And when I use that pinky red colored shaving cream, I mix it in with some black, some silver paint, and you can see it's just about to come. The pinky red color has dyed the page, and the black and silver marbling has come on as well. So any color that is in your shaving cream will show up. So you may want to reset your shaving cream every single time you are changing colors by washing out your shaving cream, or you might just be happy to keep mixing in on top of each other. So just so you know, that is my little tip there. So now I'm going to show you one of the ways I've used my marble paper, and that is to make some really cute little note cards. So I'm going to show you how I made 2 of these note cards, and if you stay tuned until the end, you will see all 8 of the different note cards that I have made. So I'm using this sort of cream colored paper to do the marbling on, and also to make the note cards. The reason why I used cream paper was because I wanted something that was smooth and didn't have any textures to it. And I didn't have any white paper that was smooth, I only had cream. And then the reason why I'm making the actual note card out of the cream paper is because I wanted it to match in the color. If you could see that the marbling effect was on cream paper, I wanted to match it with cream paper as the backing of the note card, just to keep it all harmonious. So I'm just folding those down to make my 2 little mini note cards. They're about the size of maybe half a normal card, perhaps. And the little piece of marble paper that I'm using is not quite enough to fit perfectly with a border inside the card. I wanted it to have a bigger gap at the bottom for these kind of cards that I'm designing, these kind of cards that I'm using. So just cutting these out, you can see they're a totally different piece of marble paper that you haven't seen yet. Again, at the end, you will see 8 of the designs of marble paper that I have used. I ended up making 9 different colors, I do believe. I apologize for the noise of my son. If you can hear him, I promise you they are happy sounds. He is just calling out and playing and having an adorable time. So I've cut these little squares of paper, of marble paper. Now I'm getting out my diamond press and using the second largest die. It's under an inch. I think it's about 3/4 of an inch, but please don't quote me. If you have a diamond press, you will understand when I say it's the second largest size. And I'm just cutting out 2 little circles in the matching marble for these note cards. It didn't have to be matching marble, it could have been anything, but I just didn't want to waste that little square that was left over, so I decided to use matching marble. Then I'm just looking at my stamps because I want to stamp something onto these note cards, and I don't want them to be for anything in particular. I don't want them to be specific birthdays or thank yous or sympathy cards or anything like that. I just want them to be universal. So I'm not putting any notation. I'm just making them user-friendly for any occasion, so Katie can decide how she wants to use them. So the stamps that I'm using here is a really cute puppies and kittens or dogs and cats stamp set. I actually purchased this off eBay. It was super cheap. I had no idea of the quality it would be. I have not used it. I have not touched it. I have done no prep to it whatsoever. And so I was really interested to see how well it would stamp. Sometimes those of you that do stamping will understand that they smudge or they run or they bleed a little bit when you stamp with them. But I was really happy. So I've just got a super cheap acrylic block, a super cheap eBay stamp, and then I am using Mementos ink, which is a reasonable ink, quite a good ink, and they have stamped brilliantly. So I am super happy with this purchase of my stamp here. So that has inspired me to jump on eBay and buy a few more stamps, I must tell you. So I'm just using a sort of browny grey colour with the Mementos ink. I'm going to go and check exactly what it is for those of you that are wondering. Obviously, because it's stamping onto cream, it does change the colour a little bit, and it's called Espresso Truffle. I originally had thought that I would use a variety of colours when I was stamping these dogs and cats to sort of do dogs and cats fur. But I changed my mind because I was lazy, and once I'd picked Espresso Truffle, I just stuck with it the whole time. But that's okay. So I cut those out in their circles too using the diamond press, the exact same size. So because they're going to be placed next to the other circle, which I think is really cute. So as you know, when I was marbling, I used a little bit of silver coloured paint. I also used a little bit of gold paint. So I have some really gorgeous gold twine that I got from Stamping Up that I decide, here it is, that I decide I would like to add behind some of the little puppies or cats circles. But then I realized that that doesn't help me for anything that was silver. So I've just got my little Wink of Stella pen there, and I'm colouring in the little bow on that little puppy. So that's he's going to go onto silver marbled paper, and he won't have any twine because I don't want to put gold twine on a silver themed card. I'm very particular like that, and I didn't have this beautiful twine in silver. It does come in silver, I just don't have it in silver. So just using some foam dots to stick that up a little bit higher when I get to it. Double-sided tape for this big piece of marble, double-sided tape for the little circle, and then foam dots for this stamped circle so that it's raised and it kind of catches your attention a little bit more. And I was really happy with how this is looking. Just super simple, nothing too tricky. Not too time consuming, especially if you've already got your papers ready to go. Quick and easy. So here it comes. I'm just putting the foam dots on. I had a little bit of extra foam dots because I was cutting them up and cutting them in squares. So I've already pre-foam dots and pre-stickered the other marble paper as well, which was handy. So same thing, same process again, just sticking down the marbled paper. This is why I only do a tutorial for 2 of the cards, because it is a very repetitive process of just watching the same thing over and over. So I apologize if you are bored already. Not long to go and you will see all 8 of them. So just sticking on that little marble circle, and then I decide with this one, as I mentioned before, it doesn't actually have any gold paint in it, but it's got no silver or gold. So I'm totally happy to use gold with this one. So for those of you that haven't used a twine like this before, you can use the sticky double-sided tape or whatever foam dots in my case that you're going to use to stick your actual stamped image on to help hold your twine. So that's what I did with this gorgeous little string, and then realized that I made the loops way too big and they were sticking out too far. So I end up just getting normal sticky tape anyway to help bunch up those loops and make them a little bit smaller. So my tip of using the double-sided tape that's already there, I didn't even end up doing. So, but do try it because it saves on trying to fiddle with the string too much, and it helps hold the string in place straight away for you, which is pretty cool. So there are my first 2, 1, 2, and now here are my other ones. So you can see this little puppy, he's got gold string. This little one also has gold string. And take note of my beautiful marble paper. This is all homemade marble paper. That was on black paper, so I made sure I put some white in the paint as well. I coloured in the little food bowl with Wink of Stella on that one, gold string on that one. This one, I coloured in his bow. This one, I actually stamped a little bow tie on with a silver stamp and then coloured it in with Wink of Stella. And there are all 8 of them, and I was really happy with the way they turned out. Here is a close-up of the photographs for you. That was the marble paper that I used the red shaving cream with. So you can see it totally dyed all of the paper. I really loved the way the marbling turned out. I thought it looked really cool. That is the black paper there, so think about the colours you're using if you're going to use dark coloured paper. That is white paper, so again you can see the difference in the colour of the marbling. So I was really happy with it. I hope you have been inspired to maybe try marbling paper or maybe to try making your own note cards. Thanks guys, stay tuned for more Advent Calendar tomorrow. Bye!